Beyond infinity and back again. To them. Young dog and a talking. You know once in the shine, don't vex when you get married. Me nah make trouble stress my brain. Cut checks me, I cut to the chase. Start never second hand, never second hand, never stopping for a second, talking up on the line. Look a jump on the sound, I go try and make statements. Don't test my patience.
Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's streaming of day 4 of the Era Rivals. Today we have got a banging matchup. We got Era Lost Time up against the newly formed Era Genesis, and we are hoping to have some good games here. I'm going to be joined shortly by Instinct ADC as well as Bot Emu, who will be helping us. It will be a tri-cast today, so I hope it all goes well. But let's take a quick look at the groups for now. So now we've got Group A. This is the current situation of the group right now. We've got Equinox currently top. Well, we've currently got 4 contestants for first place now. We've got Griffix unfortunately at the bottom of the board. But last time against Genesis, this is going to be the decider who will be taking the top of the leaderboard of Group A. Who will be leading the charge, and will it be roster 2? Will it be Lost Time? We are being joined by Papa Smurfy, Demulon, C-Lord, Eritiga, and Lesnek. This is the first team of Lost Time. Papa Smurfy currently holding the top lane position. He is also the newest addition to the Lost Time roster, and they are hoping to define an era this season with their current changes. We got Matt Demulon in the jungle. Alright, thank you for the heads up, Matt. Alright, I'll be sure to update that with the stats. So Demulon in the jungle, very stable jungle champ, very stable jungler. Been in the team for quite some time, very respectful. One of pretty solid lad. We're always curious to see what he brings out. He has got his champion pool is quite deadly, so you don't want to get on his bad side. We have got C-Lord in the mid lane. He is going to be hopefully hopping onto something spicy, something interesting. We know he likes the Yasuo, we know he likes the Yone. He's been trying out the Sylas for doing that too. Been putting a lot of work into it. Hope we get something interesting from him there. We're going to have Eritiga in the bot lane. The founder of the organization, one of the best ADCs on the organization. We're hoping to see him on one of his mini comfort picks. With his recent changes to Ezreal and the new build that he has currently been following. Very curious to see if he's going to pull something out. We'll pull that out in the future. We've been catching up on his streams. Very much been loving this Ezreal build with the Kraken Slayer and Essence Reaver. So I hope to see him bring it out. And then we have Lesnek, who is the support. And I'm curious to see what he's going to bring out for us, because the meta in bot lane has shifted. We've seen some very interesting supports be chosen in the likes of LEC right now, with Jin's support being chosen. Heimerdinger is still very progressive, but I'm very much sure that Lesnek likes his engaged champions as well as his enchanters. So curious to see what's going to be happening there. So we have... Hello there.
What's going on?
We're on, bro.
Alright.
Sweet.
Welcome everybody. So I'm being now joined by Instinct ADC as well as Bot Emu. Welcome to the stream, everybody.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you. This is gonna be an interesting game because we're gonna have a tri-cast going.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of people as well. So, I mean, just the game that's as big as... Well, I won't say it's big, but pretty much as high elo and high octane as this, I think tri-cast is pathetic.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, these games I've been watching so far have been so energetic, so full of passion. I've been getting the same feel as LEC from the games I've been watching here. There's just so much skill being displayed here. So
there's a lot of talent coming out. Yeah. So now we are going to be showcasing some of Era's newest banners for the future, hoping that when the other teams do it too. So this is what we're going to be having, hopefully, for all the Era teams in the future. So we got Mr. Papa Smurfy pulling off and flexing his muscles because he is the TFT master. Then we got Mr. Demulon in the jungle, as predicted. He is going to be putting out the Volibear or pulling out the Hecarim. Who knows? Very curious to see what we're going to be getting from him today.
Seen a lot of the Amumu recently as well from the solo page, as well as Maokai, so it might be something traditional. But
Yeah.
Can't wait to see. As well, C-Lard.
Yeah, and now we got C-Lord Josh here in the mid lane. Very capable mid laner. Does like the heavy fighter champions, the 1v9 champions, particularly his Yasuo and his Yone. Curious to see what he's going to pull out.
So,
And now we have got the founder, the man himself, Eritiga, the ADC for the last time. Has been doing his climb up to Diamond this season so far, currently sitting in Plat 1. Hoping that he can make an impact with this brand new Ezreal build that has been tearing up solo queue.
Yeah, that Ezreal is hard to lock down. When you think you got him, he just hits a few Qs, gets his cooldowns reduced, and just jumps away from you. It's hard to pin him down and keep him still.
slips away, just like that. Especially as he
Instantly,
strings
exactly.
all- yeah, just slips away with all his combo as well.
Alright, so we gotta get moving on with the segment because I think the teams are gonna be getting ready soon enough. And then we got Lesnek in the bot lane. Always love to see it. Very much favors the Tahm Kench. Would very much like to see that this game with the new items, especially with Radiant Virtue now being slightly more broken than it should be.
Yeah, this item is being built on lots of different champions. I mean, we're even seeing it being built on a Vi in jungle. It's unprecedented in how much healing it can bring to not only yourself, but the team around you, and as well as that cooldown reduction during fights. Can't be overlooked.
Yeah, like the item right now, particularly a lot of the tank junglers have been, it's either between Proteon and between Radiant Virtue. So curious, I'm very likely we're going to see two of those junglers today from either Mad Demulon or now getting into the second roster. We have got the Genesis formed roster. Unfortunately, Nick Zora will not be able to be joining us. He is dealing with load shedding. This is very grateful. So we're gonna have Henio subbing in for him in the mid lane. We saw a bit of what Henio was playing the other day. That Varus mid was kind of disgusting. The Jace mid. You do not want to be facing this man when he is that strong.
Yeah, from what I've seen of Henio, he's able to somehow turn some what seems like immobile champions into some really slippery play champions. Like, he was able to get dive 3v1 in a mid lane and still managed to get away after being stunned completely. This man, he's gotten out of some situations I've never seen people get out of before. It's insane.
Yeah. And the point of discussion for now is that this newly formed Genesis roster is made up of bits and bobs of the best Era has to offer right now. With Floppy, Pancake, Nick Zora, and Dracarys coming together from two different teams. So mixes of Chronos and the old Tempo. They did the miracle run all the way to the Open Div finals, and then Chronos being one of the stronger teams in Era, and Dracarys being swapped to the bot lane rather than the jungle. We've got Era Single Tracks making his return. From what I've heard many good things from him. And Pendragon, what is a team without its resident Pike one trick?
Pendragon also made that run with Tempo all the way to the finals. No,
Yeah.
wait, no, never mind. I'm lying. That is not.
He did sub for them.
No, he did.
So yeah, we should be. So we just
Pike is
went
very
through
dangerous.
that. Very scary champion, I will agree.
You got this moral dilemma with the Pike. During team fights, you got to wonder, should I shut him down first or work on the ADC? Because if you leave that Pike alive, there is a very high chance that Death from Below is going to take out your entire team.
Yeah, and I think you don't want him on that kind of comfort. You don't want him to take people down that easily. So, as we collected, both teams are ready to go. So we are going to be heading into the main screen here. So we are.
Wait,
We're getting
This is-
memed on. The
this
car's
is-
getting
this is-
memed on.
so aggressive. All right, first band's coming in
All
for
right,
a big game, big time,
Excited
big
to see.
night.
We got Echo ban first. Is that a counter ban already?
So that is actually being taken away from the likes of Floppy Pancake. It is something he is very proficient on. It is one of his top play champions as of last season. It's what got him to his MVP status last year. And
Also taken away. Very prevalent jungler. Okay.
It seems like there is a very particular person that last time are targeting here with the Echo and the Lilia ban. But I think
So far, we've got 3 jungle bans. The Amumu is still being left open, so it is very, very prevalent pick for them.
I
No,
know
he
Demulon
picks.
Demulon has been known to pick up the Amumu. Amumu is really quite strong now. I haven't seen
Ezreal.
how Radiant Amumu does recently, but I'm really curious.
But obviously, the Ezreal ban also coming through for Ty, who's
Ooh.
playing a lot of that Ezreal as well, as we mentioned earlier.
Yone actually being taken away from Henio. It was a conflict ban because both Sealard and Henio were very much able to play those kinds of picks.
The problem with
Karma.
trying to counter ban mid is Henio's got so much different champions he's got mastery on. You can't really ban the skill itself.
Yeah, the man he's got a champion ocean, if you will. And it's just phenomenal what he's able to bring out. Like, he brought out, like, pulling out the Jace, which I've never seen him on, and then the Varus, which is something he's very well known on, and just making a name for it. But, yeah, we do see the first pick is Jungle coming out for Demulon.
It's something I know. I have been seeing Floppy playing a bit of that Zac, so
Oh!
take away a Mumu.
Ooh.
There we go. Seeing some of that Mumu you mentioned earlier, maybe wanting to see what the build is as well with Radiant Virtue being available. Now,
And
that's both
Amumu-
in.
A part of me
And then-
wants to think that maybe that might be the Amumu support. 'Cause
That also might be.
You think
Is-
so?
I'm very inclined to believe it could be a flex pick. Because I haven't seen Floppy too much on this Amumu, but I would be very
The
intrigued to see
Bel'Veth?
him. Okay, so that kind of sets the
Confirms
point.
it.
Yeah, so it is going to be the Amumu on Pendragon, and then Belveth for Floppy Pancake.
So this might
Amumu,
be
very strong champion. I mean, it's very good at offense when you need to send in a little stun bomb, but it's also very good for defense when you have people diving you. You just peel for your ADC, you keep people off of them. The constant stuns that Amumu can provide is dangerous.
It's
You
also the
just-
Caitlyn Lux spotlight instantly locked in. This
Ooh.
lane's going to be a bit of a bloodbath from the looks of it. I think you're looking for all in.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a much an all-in bot lane. The Lux could be flexed because Sealord has been very capable to pick this up, but Caitlyn Lux does work very well in the bot lane, so that's very good inclination. But we see the Anivia Hover coming out for most likely for Henio.
Yeah. So he takes
Olivia.
that. I mean, he might be able to wall sack off. I mean,
It is very good in terms of anti-dive. Amumu can deal with the people that are already on top of them, while Anivia is able to block off the rest of the team from ever arriving in that fight.
I think they definitely, in terms of the way last time was thinking, they wanted to get Frog Pancake off his comfort. They took away his Yone, they took away his Lilia, his Echo, then they picked up the Zac, forcing him on something slightly newer. And
Cassidon
then,
ban.
well, to be expected. I want to say
That's to be
Cassidon ban
expected.
very much expected.
right, Cassidon is immensely popular at the moment, and that's for a good reason. With Rod of Ages, with Seraphs, he's just an absolute monster, really.
Personally, I wasn't around in the older items, so I never got to originally see how Ceres was. I got used to how Ceres was with the cooldown reduction, but I mean, this is a whole new feeling for me now.
Like
Yeah.
especially what I think about Seraphs is like also just particularly broken. It was very sneaky of Riot of giving it its own lifeline.
Yeah.
So now it's basically an AP version of a shield bow, and it's not even a mythic item.
It's basically
I
similar.
completely agree.
Like it's gonna be very broken, very strong, very
AP
much.
more.
It just makes playing AP champions all the better.
But Darius also taken away.
Darius
Focus
a
on the
very
top
strong
lane.
option in top lane. Very
Taking away from
steamrolly.
single- They're taken away from single track, so I think is very capable of playing this. I've
No.
yet to see much. I haven't seen what single tracks is capable of just yet, so I'm very curious to see what he's gonna pull out.
All down now to what Papa Smurfy and Ty is going to play in the bot side. We're seeing that Samira, which makes a lot of sense. You want that all in. You don't want to get poked out. You just want to sort of have that. But now, in response, we already got the rest of the team. What are they going to pick?
I received Drakari's actually like picking up the Samira is really entertaining. Like their ball lane synergy is. I really enjoy that kind of synergy with the Amumu and the Samira. Good for CC lockdown, easy engage, good AoE, and yeah, can block. I believe can not
No.
block Lux ult. Can it block the Lux ult?
I mean,
No,
Ken-
Lux ult is not a projectile.
Oh, so it could realistically it's only to block maybe the Caitlyn or the Caitlyn's or a binding.
Exactly,
even.
yes.
All right, so we see the Ornn is going to be coming out for Papa Smurfy in the top lane. What is a game of South African esports without
Swain.
SA Ornn?
But that's
Oh,
Swain.
the Swain. Oh,
Swain locked in for Sealard.
Sealard has been playing this quite a bit. It is quite strong. It's one of the highest ranked players in South Africa. I think he's African gamer. He is a Swain main. He has peaked as high as Grandmaster playing the Swain build. So I would be very, very surprised that was picked this late. Like I thought it would have been prioritized for Sealard.
I think Sealard is probably just wanting a tap that advantage in lane, so give him that last pick. Is the Mordekaiser are coming out top side for Genesis.
I mean,
so-
who do we think is doing the best in terms of team comp here? Like both
mean-
these teams are kind of disgusting.
They are very balanced teams. I mean, each of them have the potential to stop dives as well as create dives. It's a very brawlery type of comp, in my opinion.
Like I think, in terms of engage, I think last time might have the slight upper hand with the Ornn ultimate, the Zac E, and then even the Lux binding has got really solid pick potential, good engage. But at the same time, Mordekaiser can just take out the Ornn, prevent the ulti from ever happening. Amumu Samira engage along with the Anivia ultimates, like paired with that, it is quite frankly going to be absurd.
I do favor Genesis in terms of team fighting. I do think it's a bit harder to team fight with that Caitlyn overall compared to the Samira and the Amumu. So obviously it all comes down to if in lane Jacarius is able to try and stop this absolute monstrosity of a bot lane that just going to shove him out, maybe with some help in the jungle. It looks kind of winnable for Genesis, but both sides obviously do have that team fighting potential. It's really all down to that lane.
I do agree it comes down to the Mumu, but it also comes down, in my opinion, to the Samira being able to block a lot of those skill shots. If you block that Lux Q, block the Swain E, it can shut down a lot of their damage potential on being able to dive a single target.
Yeah, and it's very, like, especially with the Swain's pick potential and the scaling on the side of the Swain is infinite. It is very likely that, like, they're gonna the long game might actually be like, it's a very interesting fate because Bel'Veth also infinitely scaling champion. That attack speed can get kind of nutty. That AoE true damage ultimate. Okay, now that I'm talking about this champion, I realize why she's so broken. I just think the Bel'Veth is going to be the point of contention here. If the Bel'Veth gets ahead, if Anivia is able to just stay alive in lane, get to the Seraphs, get to the Rod of Ages, it'll be extremely difficult for the side of Lost Time to make any plays.
It's all on Floppy.
You know, when Bel'Veth first came out, I used to build Collector on her just for that E. Did insane amount of damage.
Yeah, like the lethality getting on it is kind of disgusting, I won't lie. But we do see predictions are coming in. It seems like there is kind of 650 points going towards Lost Time. No one is voting for why is it a vote for Genesis, bro? Genesis not fortunate enough to get any of the votes, but maybe they're looking to prove everyone wrong.
Wow.
Well, someone's gonna get some points because whoever's on the up. Oh, 6.3 thousand points on Lost Time. That is a lot of points being put there. Very curious. Oh my goodness. Someone needs to bet points because if Lost Time lose, that's gonna be a lot of points someone else could get.
The return ratio is 1-to-1 at the moment. You gain that.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. So the person who bets against it will gain all of it.
I'll balance it.
The balance. Yes. Here we go. We got a good one on us. Nice.
Turn ratio is absolutely crazy if Genesis wins, by the way.
Yeah. So that's. While we're here, we'll quickly take a look at the stats page. Oh gosh, why is it not loading? Stat page not loading. Okay, there we go. Stat page is now open.
I do think that Genesis needs to be very, very careful about fighting in a jungle. You would not want to fight an Ornn or a Zac or a Swain in even a Lux in a jungle with all those skill shots, as well as the knockups that can be landed in such a short area. You know, you don't want to put yourself in that risk.
It's all of the choke points that I'm concerned about. Like you said, literally any skill shot lands, and the amount of follow up and just instant CC that's there is absolutely disgusting. That
means that Lost Time will have to get to objectives first. You do not want to give that space to Genesis. You do not.
And I mean, they've got the mid prior with the Nivea with that shove as well, which could help a lot. Obviously, if you have mid prior, you pretty much have the jungle, as far as obviously the turret is concerned.
Yeah, and like, yeah, you keep going.
It kind of depends, obviously,
already
on how early it is. We don't have to fiddle with much because sharing the screen now. It is game one.
Yeah, we're hopping into game one of Era Genesis versus Era Lost Time. Who will take the first game? Who will set the tone for this Group A match?
All eyes on that.
Flexing the masteries already on the Bel'Veth.
Yeah, we're getting the Mastery 5 Bel'Veth coming up for Floppy. Yeah, but we actually also have a double substitute. So it's actually Pendragon is not with us. It's actually going to be Casti. So Casti is that explains the Karma ban. That very much explains the Karma ban.
Obviously, I would have liked to see. Would have liked to see that Karma. It's kind of cringe with that.
We've got an invade in top lane. Ornn and Zac are moving in.
Yeah, and there's something they're just dropping a ward just to kind of keep track of where Floppy's going to be moving.
It's good ward, good ward. Able to see if he's working on red and Raptors there, as well as positioning on if he's coming from blue side or leaving red side.
You just want Tide to feel comfortable, obviously. You want him to be able to shove out and have that information for where Floppy is going, so that they obviously can't shut down this Caitlyn Lux bot side, which is a massive point of contention.
Agreed. You need to get that Caitlyn and Lux to scale a lot faster than Samira. Samira is very good in team fights when she gets her damage. That ultimate, just insane AoE damage, as well as the Belveth giving AoE damage as well.
Yeah, the AoE is kind of like that's. I think that's kind of team comp that Genesis might have been looking for here. They've got a lot of AoE ultimates, a lot of AoE abilities that can make or break the team fight. If a Belveth gets a reset, it is very difficult for anyone to do anything, as we see. A bit of zoning coming out from Tigger and the Snack here.
Samira level 1's terrible.
Yeah,
So
Samira-
obviously abusing that fact.
Yeah, they're
That's
probably
it.
going to be
Taking
making
a
sure
lot
that
of poke.
Yeah, they're going to be making sure that the Samira gets poked out early and that it gets a lot of damage taken. Don't want her to have a as comfortable laning phase.
Electrocute already doing its job on Sealord. Taking a good amount of damage from a rune itself. I've not been a fan of Electrocute, does a lot of damage.
Oh, the Q does connect onto the Snack here. Dracarys is
Snipe
still
being
only
burned.
level 1. Does not
Flash
have the
being
dash.
burnt.
Yeah, Ghost is burning out for Tigger too, but they just picked up level 2. They have the advantage here. Dracarys have to
Oh,
burn the
return
flash.
flash, the minions! The minions!
First blood
Pick up
going
first blood.
over to Tigger. Will they
Krusty will try and
continue?
get out.
Up as there's
Flash
a
being
flash
burnt
burn
as well.
before we get sent right back up to the duel that's happening in the top lane.
That's very unlucky there that the level 2 managed to go in the favor last time. It really shut them down so soon with the extra abilities that were able to be used.
I think in particular it is just very easy for the side of last time to abuse their range. The Lux and the Caitlyn combo have a significantly higher range than that of the Samira. Samira's significantly short range. Very hard for her to really make any early plays until maybe around level 3, level 4. I don't think Samira is going to be able to look for too much.
I mean, even the level 2, if they were able to grant themselves that there earlier, it would have won them the fight. But obviously, with that shove that they had, it's just impossible. And obviously, somehow in a situation that just pretty much didn't see.
Yeah, Ornn can scale his tankiness. Mordekaiser also going to scale his tankiness. I think both junglers are going to try and focus on that bot side and get either one of them ahead. It's going to be a bot side focused game.
Yeah, I mean, like both the bot lanes very much wants to be in the commanding position here as Demulon does land. Lux binding does commit. Floppy Pancake doing his best, does get the Zac passive down, does drop the E.
For the damage reduction. Nope, could not make it.
Tried
Amino
to
will
use-
just have to waddle away.
I mean, this is exactly what you don't want. They get the fair
Q
kill.
lands! The
First damage
damage!
is dead.
That's a triple!
For Tigger. That's insane.
gosh.
Everything's going right for last time.
They're
4
in a
kills in 4 minutes, lads.
very commanding position here from last time. Getting all their gold onto their carry. 4-0 already for Tigger.
Demulon made the perfect bait for every Lux ability to land as they grouped up to try and fight him. They basically gave themselves to the Lux and said, I'm here, hit me with your abilities.
Can we look at the goal for Caitlyn, by the
Yeah,
way?
can we look at the goal? Caitlyn right now is sitting
Oh.
two with that one another
1.6K.
6. Bit rough as they are looking for a possible
Already
invade on
halfway
the
through a mythic.
Belveth. There is people jumping in. Henio is doing his best to land.
the
Belveth is
stuns,
there,
the
does have the E. Belveth will flash for the kill, will get it, but Triumph will not save him as Demulon is going to continue fighting Henio, but Single Tracks
Tracks.
is on his way.
Caitlyn might be
Caught in a rock and a hard place here, but I'm pretty sure Zac will just be able to jump
Yeah,
out of this
I feel
position.
like Demulon might just be able to walk out.
wow.
No, he gets walled off, so now Demulon's like, fight me. And Henio will pick up a kill.
Good wall there. Kill secured. A bit of a mistake on the side of lost time, but they trade 1 for 2. And it's a bit of hope for Genesis. The first 2 kills of the game. Put on Floppy, who, as we said, it's all on Floppy, really.
Yeah, Floppy is one of the backbones of the previous Kronos roster. As you see, all the Mazamaz abilities. Ty is staying in tower. Ty will not fall. And we'll pick up.
Barely.
Ty is on 5 kills right now on this Caitlyn. Sitting on
Does not help.
2,100.
It does not help that Caitlyn has double buffs and can easily regenerate not only the mana but the health as well.
And he also got those 2 plates, and he has all that experience and CS in the bot lane. This is absolutely just a nightmare for Genesis, really.
Dracarys unfortunately struggling quite a lot into Ty here, who is definitely abusing his range. Sealord tanking quite a brunt of damage from Henio on this Anivia. Very
Trying to
scary
return
stuff.
it, but it will have to get out of there.
Yeah, Henio is just going to walk him down, drop the E.
Kenyo does have the rare buffs, so the burn is also substantial. Don't overlook that. The burn does hurt.
Yeah, and especially that gives Henio that little bit extra bit of lane dominance, puts him in a very safe position to scale.
Luckily, Ornn is able to get away using his charge, but Ornn can take a beating. That's the thing about Ornn. He doesn't have to worry too much until the team fights, because he can infinitely scale his health there with being able to buy items in the lane. So
Yeah, like it's just that champ is very much built to take a beating. Kosti is just trying his best to shove the wave a little bit. But I do think right now the point of contention. Oh, Henio is getting caught out here by
mid lane.
Demilon.
Can't move much. He might be able to turn around a little
Up Q
bit.
line.
Swain
Oh, Henio have to burn the flash.
Anyway. I mean,
might have
Poppy's
this.
there.
Bel'Veth is coming in.
Bel'Veth is going to be looking for Demilon. Bel'Veth does not have the
That
flash.
hits the knockup. Oh, the E is not in range. But that
Swain
does mean
ult-
the Swain is available.
Well,
One
he's
ulti
there,
does
though.
come out too. Dracarys is there to pick
Smurfy.
up Demilon. Bot lane has Bretonnia. This is a lot of people in the mid lane. Smurfy taking a lot of damage. 4 members of Genesis have arrived.
Now you got to be careful because here comes Snek gets the E on a Mumu.
If he had
Q
ult there,
lands.
that's
The tides have turned as Dracarys picks up a double kill, putting him in a very good spot.
and
Yeah, this is
also,
exactly what bot lane needed.
it's money on Floppy. It's money on Nivea. It's money on Samira. And Dracarys as well. He's had a terrible lane to start with.
Yeah, but I think the only unfortunate thing is Eritiga has been sitting bot lane for quite some time and does pick up solo gold for a bunch of tower plating. Once again, sitting 1,800 gold. About 2,000 gold ahead of the Samira right now.
On the other hand, the flash was burnt on Henio on a very immobile champion. It's something that you very much need in terms of laning to protect yourself, but they will get his passive again soon, so that gives him some kind of defense.
Yeah, it's Henio playing the lane as safe as he is as possible, just to ensure the scaling. Papa Smurfy just taking the beating as per usual, but with bot lane first tower now gone, it does appear that Dracarys and Kosti will just be sitting in the bot side, just grabbing some waves, getting some experience, and looking to fight at a later stage.
But now the
Demilon,
But now, like, okay.
It's not
Demilon giving single tracks that sneaky little emote there, just tell him you're not catching me. Little cheeky.
As there's more trades coming out. Papa Smurfy just biding his time, pretty much.
I do think you want to obviously keep the Bella off that Herald, make sure she doesn't get that form too easily. Want to keep her off it as much as you can. That Caitlyn is now mid, and all that influence, all that money you put into her, that's where you want it now. And obviously
Genesis
they're
has
not
no
going to fight it.
vision.
So they are taking the vision. There is no vision from Genesis. None of them are rotating.
Drake is up.
All they need is just to be able to spot them once there, then they can move to Drake, but it seems they're going to be doing that. Pings are coming through from last time on Genesis being on Drake.
I would just prioritize the tower plates here, really, but I mean, they
They
might
might look to contest this.
So red team
No,
actually
they're
do
taking
pick
mid plates.
Yeah, red team actually do pick up the dragon. Bel'Veth does have her ultimate form.
they might look to
They
fight
could-
this.
Yeah, they're not gonna look to get a tower yet. Everyone having to jump out.
Casti is level 6. This could be a very good opportunity to fight here.
No cleanse on Ty as well.
Yeah,
So
but you gotta, Ty does still have the flash. Does have Gale Force as well. So you gotta be very careful of trying to catch him out.
It's all
Oh gosh, Bobo disappeared.
come to fruition, hasn't it? It's been a bloodbath of a game, as I think all kind of knew. Now the game plates mid.
Yeah,
All that money, it's exponential.
Tigger is just still getting more and more money right now. Tigger is sitting about 6,500 gold. Very commanding
Yeah.
position. A lot of damage coming onto Kosti. And
Casti,
then just
there's
dead.
the-
Oh my!
Oh, the Samira
Absolute-
W coming in just a second too late.
It's absolutely disgusting. This money.
It's
on
very
this
difficult to
champion.
keep this. It's very difficult to keep
Oh, the
Tiger
down.
off.
Oh,
No
my
way!
goodness gracious.
And
Ty is going
Caitlyn
absolutely
with his
ape.
tower dive.
Oh no, they don't. He doesn't get the final kill.
Oh, that's insane. They get the tower as well.
What health is Samira on?
I think that was
Samira-
like 15. It had to be.
I think it had to easily have been like 14, 15 HP, give or take. Easily.
It's very difficult to keep Tiger off of those objectives. I mean, the range that he has to be able to keep hammering it from a distance, and as a Samira, you're so short range, it's all in or nothing. You cannot deal with a Caitlyn pushing a tower.
Yeah,
went
like
from
this
that-
combo is like the Caitlyn Lux combo is absolutely annihilating this Genesis bot lane.
That's 7.8k.
7.8k to that's a 4,000 gold lead for the Caitlyn compared to Samira.
This is insane. I actually just can't even like say it.
Like
That
almost
is
all
insane.
that lead gold is on this Caitlyn here, but that does put a very big bullseye on her head. Like,
It makes your objective very clear.
You can see, yeah.
And I think Ty is very much Tigger is very much aware that he is going to be a very big target now.
I think Tigger heard you ping their own bounty there on their head.
Yeah, I think he heard. I didn't even get to ping it. He just pinged it himself. Man knows. But you see, there is still going to be contest for the scuttles here. Demilon just trying to pick up as much of his jungle as possible. Costy hanging around the Samira, just keeping him safe for a little while.
Single tracks might be able to send Caitlyn into a death round.
It is 3 members top lane, so it is a bit of a risky call. Does have
Are they going to dive this?
Bit hard.
He's got to bear him out. Oh,
There he
does
goes.
get taken into the death realm.
Death
a lot
realm.
of damage is going down, but Q missing.
Misses the
Tigger
Q.
dodging all the Qs.
You see Zac
Trap.
lining up to help as soon as they come out of the death realm. Gets the
That's shut
shutdown.
down.
1,000 gold to the Mordekaiser.
Oh, whiffed.
Here comes.
Oh, there's just fights going everywhere. C-Lot is fighting a 1v2 against Flowy Pancake and Henio
Swain will survive.
by the skin of his teeth. The Q does
Wait.
flash forward. Henio
Flashes
does
over.
good.
Oh,
Does have
my
egg.
lord.
Velvet is going to look to try and maybe tank it for the egg, but I think they're going to
That
let.
is
I
it.
think Henio is going to fall,
Henio is-
unfortunately.
1-1.
Oh, Demulon just making people aware of
Oh,
his
no.
position. Oh no, we got a lot of commitment coming out here. Massive Ornn ultimate coming out. Dracari's in a lot
There's
of
no
danger.
escaping that. Too much damage in too short of a time. There is no way you can deal with that.
The
Final
lockdown's
spark from
absolutely
Lux.
insane.
And the final
that
spark
money.
from Lux kind of absolutely annihilating this Samira.
And all that money's now on single tracks, by the way. That was 1,000 gold.
Indeed,
Yeah.
yeah. He will try and defend this tower. He is doing a good job of poking them out, but I mean, there's no way he can actually fight them. So he's just going to have to deal with what's happening in front of him.
Yeah, but we got to keep an eye on all these scaling champions from Genesis, as despite Tigger being extremely far ahead, these core items have come out for the carries. The Mordekaiser picking up the Rhyalize, Kraken Slayer onto the Belveth, and a full Rod of
Final
Ages
spot.
on the Anivia.
The
He does
damage.
bolt.
Does he get him? He gets him under tower! No! You do
There's
not
no
do
way.
that to the first. Oh, the damage coming through.
That is,
And you're gonna look to try and defend.
The Galen shouldn't be allowed to do that.
He shouldn't be allowed, but Gale Force, the execute damage, it's insane.
You might be
This
able
neck
to go
hit-
more here.
A lot of damage coming out. As much as he is a very squishy 80 carry, he does whip out a feck ton of damage.
Tigger is showing his dominance in this game with the lead he got, and the damage he's dishing out is just unbelievable. The confidence in this man to tower dive and get these kills or almost get them and get out alive with over half health is just dangerous.
It's just pressing buttons. I mean, think about it. This problem's gone from bad to worse to disgustingly bad. And you got that shutdown, but all that money still on this. What, 8 point something K gold now? This is insane.
Yeah, like
We pointed out
massive
the one
amount of
thing. We pointed out the one thing you wanted to do for last time.
Casti
Is
is going
to
to
get
get caught out, pulled in, final spark.
A lot of ultimates come out. The Costa said Mummy is still up, but will not be able to drop it as he will be taken down.
I think he chose not to use it for that exact moment for a later team fight, because cooldown on it can be a bit high if you don't have the ultimate hunter.
Yeah,
Same time, it's not getting out anyways.
So Ornn did drop the TP into the top lane, but the rest of Lost Time will be getting the second dragon of the game.
Second dragon. And it feels like in 15 minutes it's been 30.
It has
All
been-
these kills, all these
It has
fights.
been an absolute roller coaster of a match between these two teams.
Well, while
And it
Lost
is
Time
gonna
has
get
been
more.
working on Dragon, Belveth here on Genesis has been trying to take Rift Herald. They do have vision of it. Dodges the Ornn charge.
Okay,
A lot
it's
of
here
damage
now.
coming out. Obviously, is
All of the
stunned.
Forge
Ornn-
God goes through, knocks them up. Lost final spark coming through, doing a lot of damage to the Belveth.
Yeah, but nothing else here. I mean,
They're not focusing on the Caitlyn. Caitlyn's able to take on Henio.
Yeah, Kalen is just
coming over.
pre-ordering. He does land onto the Lux. Lux does drop the
What's
exhaust.
Vicarious?
He's doing his
caught out.
best. Does very
Demilon
much try to get
caught
into the
them
team
out.
fight. Cannot get the ulti off. Floyd Pongate doing the best he can, picks up the ultimate, but Era Tigger just sitting in the back, getting free autos, putting him at 11-1.
There's a bit of a potential there to maybe get the gold onto Jakarius as well, which would have helped a ton in these team fights. Watching Casti, it was a situation where they were outnumbered, but all the while, look at the Swain, by the way. He's taking the tier 2 bot side. He's got all this gold on him. It's either lose or lose worse in this situation.
I do believe there was a moment of hesitation there in Genesis' team. I mean, they just left Single Tracks there fighting alone as they backed off and realized he was still fighting, came in and lost to Demilon coming in out of nowhere and taking them out.
Yeah, they were just like, it seems like they were a bit scattered in that situation. It's very hard for them to make sure they focus the right target. Caitlyn got in a very commanding position behind her tanks, behind the main front line. And it's just very hard for anyone to get on her. The exhaust coming in clutch on the Mordekaiser, so he was not able to get that Lux shut down. But yeah, we've got it's very much last time's game to lose.
Absolutely. Losing from this position would be a bit hard. All this money on one person. Obviously, you know who has a target over their head. Jakarius is in trouble. I mean, Casti waiting.
Well, after W.
The Caitlyn Q going to be doing a lot of damage, as is going to be going for the Infinity Edge third item. Did pick up the QSS as a respect to the Mordekaiser.
Absolutely, without the cleanse. And as well, you have to consider, there's the Amumu, there's a few more CC. I mean,
is he getting caught out here? Puts down the wall. Final spot coming through.
The final spot does go wide. Papa Smurfy is just sitting in the Anivia ultimate here, just tanking up some damage. Just doing
Ornn can't
what
be
Ornn
caught
does.
out there. Ornn can never be caught out with the health he has. He just walks it off and shrugs it off.
Some would say Ornn is not caught out. The enemy team are caught out by Ornn.
Now, do they look to tower dive this?
I don't think so. I think they just look for the tier 2. It's a bit too much of a risk. Genesis have got some fight in them. They take that tier 2 instantly.
You see Cassie on that sideline trying to see if he can pick up a Curse of the Sad Money Bomb here. But they are shifting topwards.
Single Tracks does have TP. If
Looks like they're sending out this top tower.
Yeah, but I think Single Tracks is likely going to be trying to get a trade out for this tower here.
I love how formulaic this play is, by the way. It's very simple. You're looking for turrets, that's what you want. Put the gold on Caitlyn, and you pretty much got tier 2 on every single side of the map. Gone.
Oh,
What happened?
By the way,
my screen went black. There we go.
it's all good. Fast spark. And he is resurrected.
And then that's going to Egg. Herald does
Shelly
get the
does
charge.
do so much damage on these towers. That's
Wait.
2 towers gone in top lane.
That's
Single
be
Tracks
careful.
has returned.
Flash from
Flash from
Sealord.
Sealord.
The Samira getting caught out is not what they needed this time.
It's 3 versus 5. They might be able to chase. I imagine they just go for Baron here.
They could look
1
for a
minute.
possible end here, but they don't have any minions. They need to look for the end, or they can look for Baron. Carsey very much trying to land a good ultimate here. They're trying to land a good curse of the
Curse of the
Sad
Sad
Mummy.
Mummy comes through.
Velvet
Swain
doing
has got
as
the
much as
aura.
he can, but
Recast does lots of damage. Is Mordekaiser in Death Realm?
Mordekaiser is a death realm, does unfortunately not able to take down Tigger. The Ghost very much saving his life.
He
Oh,
is buying
no.
time at least. He is buying time. Here comes Henio. Here comes Dracarius.
It might be over. I mean,
I think that managed to
Run away.
shut down their end.
I think that's the end.
I
Oh
think
my lord.
I think it's only delaying the inevitable at this point. It is 11,000 gold at the moment lead for last time. It is very rare that anyone is able to make a comeback from this kind of game.
I mean, Genesis now has to defend. They can work on Baron. They can work on Dragon coming up in 10 seconds. It's whatever they choose, they could do it.
They have they have complete control of the map right now. There is not much. They don't really need too much of the vision. They will win these team fights outright. Why does this keep happening?
Think about how everything has just gone right for last time. They have played a formulaic game of League of Legends where they managed to get their gold on the person they wanted.
Is Lisnek caught out? No, the Lux Q lands. Final spark coming through. The damage on Henio is quite high, but he is able to tank it. Never mind, there he goes.
The Ornn is called. Probably desperately trying to do damage. Single Track's fighting as well. Carsey is in the base, does land a
He
Q.
has Curse of the Sad Mummy.
Will he drop it? It is very unlikely.
It's all for nothing. They're
We
just
did
running
not
there.
have
They're
it
gonna
that
end this.
fight.
Yeah,
They're
it's
gonna
like
end this. It's a wave topside.
they know that there's the super minions in the top lane right now.
They are just going to go for the end. This is it.
Last time have dismantled Genesis within 22 minutes.
Sealard's so willing to go for that end that he takes tower shots just getting through mid lane. The confidence that this team has is just staggering, honestly.
Like Papa Smurfy being put onto this on with the Radiant Virtue Rush. There's some massive items as Genesis put a prime in a last-ditch fight here. Dracarys desperately hard trying to get something
Flashes
here.
back into Fountain. Casty trying to keep Sealard busy, but it is over. The minions just do too much damage. Smurfy also hitting the Nexus.
And that will be GG's over to Lost Time, who will be taking game 1.
Lost Time, like I said, a formulaic game of League of Legends. Put the money on the person you want. Take bot tier 1, all good. Go to mid. Get the plates.
I want to know
Alright.
what time machine these guys have to vote on it so strongly.
Absolutely. Look at that damage, by the way.
Yeah, like the damage is just not okay, dude.
Now that was, I'm sorry to say, but that ended up being a bot diff incredibly hard.
It's hard to be in that position though, because I mean,
was-
if you look
it
at
was
the
just
early fight,
Yeah, it was just
Early-
unfortunate. That early fight that the Samira and them committed to did end up being their downfall for the late game. Putting Samira behind against a matchup where she is not naturally as strong makes it increasingly difficult for her to continue the fight entirely.
cancelled, but not out yet. They're still game 2.
So we should be getting game 2 soon.
I mean, again, going back to that Radiant Virtue, we see it again here on the Ornn and the Zac. It is a very strong item.
Seeing it again, I don't like seeing it all that much, but
Yeah, we
use
got
the
2
skill
of them
items.
because I believe that there's no like point where they don't stack. So, like, just really all around good team fighting. And we're just gonna find out if we're gonna be doing game 2. There's a lot of points will go to Lost Time. So anyone who voted Lost Time, you get all of the points. But all right, so we are gonna be hopping into game 2 here.
So now reset the mental. It's all good. Lost time. I'm in a
Yeah.
position where obviously all of that confidence just oozed.
Smalls.
Through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
and
we
Genesis cannot let this get to their head. If they just worry about it as much as they did last game, now it's just going to sink in, like bring them down as they're playing. They need to completely reset themselves, try again, different comp maybe, or they could try it again and see where they made their mistakes. But they just mustn't let them be pulled down by their own sadness here.
Yeah, as you
And
see,
you wanna- you-
it was a valiant effort from the side of Genesis, and I think there was a lot of potential in that game. But yeah, there is room for attack. I think there's a very good chance that Genesis could make a comeback in this game.
because Genesis have no rest here. After this, obviously in the group, they still have to play Aeon and Equinox. Griffix have forfeited the tournament after losing to, I believe, Equinox.
It is correct.
So now with those 2 teams left there, you've just got to keep going. You've got to keep going full steam ahead, regardless of how bad a game may have went. And obviously there was some fight in there. It wasn't like a complete stomp. I do feel like the idea is absolutely there, but with everything falling into place for Lost Time, it was a bit difficult. Wipe face. Go on for the second.
Just splash some water on your face, clear the mental. These boys know that they are capable of this. They have made the miracle run once before. They have achieved greatness. These are some of the best players the era has been able to produce. So, would be very happy to see how these guys are going to perform in the second game.
Now my question is, do they ban that Caitlyn Lux?
Yeah, like particularly like looking at the, like taking a look at the stats at the moment. We're going to take a look at Ty. So, Era Tigger. Or is he just Tigger? I think he's just Tigger. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna look at Ty here on his stats. Been very these are the champions, so he's very proficient on these kinds of champions here. All right, I just lost Ty entirely.
Goodbye.
All right, so
You're bad.
all right, I lost Ty entirely. So we got Ty here. He's got a very vast champion pool right now. The Ezreal, the Ashe, the Jinx, the Kai'Sa, Tristana. Caitlyn, 100% win rate, has gotten MVP, multiple MVP awards on this champion. Definitely want to show some more respect to him, as yeah, he's got a 0 death achievement. He has not died. And except for this game, he did go deathless. He's got very high KP, very high KDA. Yeah, and you got to respect him on this champion.
Absolutely, and it's just the confidence that this man oozed.
All right.
No, exactly. Those tower dives. I mean, any normal player in his right mind wouldn't try and go that hard. But I mean, he knew he had the damage. He knew he could take him out, so he did it. He went ahead and he got out there safely every single time.
And it just goes hand in hand with the champion itself as well. And all that gold slipping into place. I think he was 4-0 after that first blood that he had got. You're probably going to look to maybe have both of an even lane. Obviously, you are going to see him on that hyper carry. No matter what champion you ban out, it's about how you play versus it, how you mitigate it, obviously, with the jungler and the way state itself.
And we see that amount of trust coming through with the Snake to be able to hit every snare to follow up on the damage, to make sure that he's got him protected. I mean, you don't find that kind of synergy so easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like looking at some of the team comparisons here, so like many of the best members of Era are in this game. So with Floppy Pancake being the highest MVP achiever behind Tigger, Carsey, Demulon, these are some of the highest achieving MVPs in the game, and they're all in this game here. But as we are going to be hopping into Champ Select for the second game.
Maokai first ban. Not a bad option to ban. I mean, the amount of CC that he has, people have been playing a lot of AP Maokai jungle nowadays. It is pretty strong.
So what Worlds, and we're seeing it this season as well, it's absolutely disgusting. And
I think it's due to the fact that his ult is just moving a lot faster now. It's easier to catch people out. The Echo ban coming through as well. Also a very strong jungler if you get him a few kills.
Yeah, give the... Going very much into banning Floppy Pancake once again and banning out Henio.
These are very standard bans from last game as well.
Yeah, bans are very similar.
Casti himself plays Karma, but Yone ban coming out through for Henio, as you said before as well. Sealar does play it.
There are two champions in this game which have can be played by either. So Karma is very much enjoyed by both Lisnek and by Casti. So very likely that it was going to be banned regardless.
I do like the Yone ban. It's very mobile, very full of CC, full of damage, full of healing. It is a very hard character to kill, very hard character to lock down as well.
Yeah, and with both these champions, both these players very much enjoying it. We
No
have
ban.
a no ban. I believe there might be we might get
Technical
a
issue.
message, small technical issue coming out from Single Tracks. Hopefully we get confirmation on what the ban was. But what I'm collecting, it likely, I think it could be an Ornn ban, but
The Zac ban comes through though. I mean, given how much Zac was able to shut down not only the Bel'Veth but the Samira as well, it is a very interesting ban, of course, because of the amount of shutdown. It's took down a lot of the team, making sure they could not move.
but we
Absolutely.
see the Caitlyn is actually taken.
Put on the on Jacarius. Run it back, lads.
Surely they don't let him have the Lux.
Yeah, sure. I think they very much likely might take the Lux away from Casti here.
I actually could see that they don't take the Lux away and look for an all-in bot lane with Ty.
Oh, but there's one shooter champion I think that might have been banned. I think they might have taken away
Amumu.
Ty's Ezreal. But the Amumu is picked up. That is a flex pick as well. Once again, could be put in the jungle. Could be put in the support lane.
I do like that Amumu pick if it is support. Once you get onto Caitlyn, it's very hard for a Caitlyn to get away from Amumu because of the follow-up with another bandage toss as well as the Curse of the Sad Mummy.
Yeah, and
Draven.
We
I
got
like it.
the League of Draven coming out from Era Tigger here.
You know the word we've been using too much. Confidence. I don't think.
Confidence.
Yeah,
That embodies confidence. I will say that does embody the confidence we were speaking of.
rightly so.
Yeah, have not seen much of him on this Draven, but very curious to see how it's gonna go. Very aggressive AD carry. Would not be surprised if that is paired with the Amumu to be very aggro, but that will be the Swain.
Is it Swain support?
It could be Swain support, could be Swain mid. Is very much a flex. I think they're gonna want to maybe keep the Swain as a flex pick and possibly pick a jungler. As Lilia gets left
okay, who
open.
picked? Who picked?
Surely he doesn't pick it.
No, I think this is gonna happen. I think we're gonna get a floppy
No
pancake
ways.
on the Lilia.
Oh,
No
let's go!
ways.
Floppy pancake, bring out the signature Lilia, looking to break some ankles and
Hovering Lux.
sell some hoof pictures. I mean,
So wait, right.
nothing.
There's someone a little down bad over there.
I think
it's
Matt
fine.
will be very unhappy with me, but you'll see at a later date.
That's not for now. That's for later. Renata locked in. Oh, this bot lane. That's gonna be insane. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Renata though. I mean, so far we only have one heavy hitter in terms of auto attacks on the Caitlyn. It now says that you guys don't want to pick any auto attack champions because of the Renata and the ultimate. The handshake as well, also a very strong ability, being able to stun two people at once like that when landing one of them.
But I mean,
Yeah.
this Lost Time team, like I said, they're formulaic and they're coordinated. Everything they've been doing has been correct and within line of what they want to do. So I can imagine that the team fighting will work with Renata.
Yeah, I think the hostile takeover can be very useful into this team, kind of denying a lot of the putting damage, because the Caitlyn, as much as will need to auto, so will the Swain to try and get as much of his Conqueror stacks up. And also, very big disruptor. And also, once again, another abuser of the Radiant Virtue. It just seems like this item is becoming more and more prevalent, and it's becoming extremely unhealthy for the game. But gotta abuse it while you still can.
Hovering the fourth pick though. That's a good hover. That's good. Syndra's. Oh wait, actually, the
Oh, is
Rising
that
Fire.
is he gonna pull out the Doimby, the Doimby
plan.
400 CS hack?
Champion has risen back to prevalence. Maybe it needs another rework, honestly, but
So obviously Genesis here will be focusing on a bot lane in terms of getting them ahead. I mean, you don't want a Draven anywhere near high amounts of kills, high amounts of income. You want to shut him down early because he is such a hyper carry in the late game.
and also it's on Floppy. If you have the resources on him,
They
That
just
is-
gave Henio the Zed. That
Oh,
was a
no.
big mistake.
Giving the 15 ping abuser Zed, that is quite a scary thing to do. I will not lie.
and that's
This
what-
man does some extreme high APM dangerous stuff on Zed every time I see him play it. It's insane.
we have been warned.
And so we are likely going to be seeing. I thought we were going to be seeing a tank in the
Fiora.
top lane, but we are going to be getting a Fiora. So
I mean,
kind
Swain-
of negating any tank picks coming out from the side of Lost Time.
I wonder if that. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a bit spread out between obviously the team Fiora, Lilia, and Swain are tanky within themselves, but you don't have a clear front line for this team.
No, I do agree. I think Swain will either go that Radiant Virtue or he will go the Jack Show with the Protean because it is a very strong item on him. Of course, not only will his ult be draining around him then, but Jack Show will be doing it as well.
It is very much also like a pseudo. He's like a pseudo tank in a way. Like he just heals. He's like, well, it's not pseudo tank. He's more of a drain tank. Like he just pops the Conqueror, gets the Radiant Virtue, or gets the Jack Show. We'll be able to just sit in a team fight, just absorb as much damage as possible. But
I do like that Olaf pick. If Olaf runs Ghost, he is able to kind of push through the front line and get straight to that Caitlyn. And at that point, once he's using his ult, you cannot stop him, of course, because that's the
Right.
point of his ult. But still, the damage he can pump out on an ADC is insane.
Let's
It's
now, before we're about to, what we're going to lock in, we are going to take a look at the stats on some of these champions here, as
I
like
do
there's
wanna-
some big champions here that we didn't think we were going to see.
I do want to remind everyone, if Lost Time does win this game, they do go top of Group A for now. They still have 2 games left to play versus Equinox and Aeon. So this will put them in the front-running position to win this group.
I think that Fiora was picked to help counteract the Draven's amount of healing he's going to have as well. So you put a Fiora against the Draven, it's a one-on-one there because the Fiora can also heal back a lot of it itself. But the thing with the Fiora is it's so easy in the early game to shut them down. I mean, first buy you just get your Bramble Vest and there's a lot of their potential taken away.
Yeah, exactly. And I think particularly in this situation here, we are going to take a look at the Lilia, particularly Floppy Pancake on this Lilia. But very, very prevalent on it is got the most MVPs on said champion, has got 56 MVP points. Like, you do not want to be messing with Floppy Pancake on this champion.
absolutely not. I think I have been crushed by it once before.
Yeah, so if we take a
I've-
look at Floppy Pancake here,
I've got vivid memories that I do not wish to recall.
I do believe Henio and Floppy Pancake here are going to be working together on the roams, as they do have a very mobile in and out ability there to do the damage and get out and go back right in if they need to.
yeah, like particularly looking at Floppy Pancake on the Zilla, does have a 0 death achievement, doesn't have 100% KP, but has got 2 MVP awards on this champion. A very high KDA, very high KP as well. Going to be looking to make all the plays around the map. Yeah, one of his most top, his top 4 highest played champions. Obviously, not going to let through the Zac, not going to let through the Echo. But putting Floppy on this Lily is very dangerous.
And now it's all about how
But
think junglers handle this lane.
But at the same time, we also got to be wary of what Tigger is like on this Draven. I don't think we've seen Tigger on a Draven. This might be a first time on Draven, actually.
I don't all of it as well. I mean, I would just have to
Okay.
check.
You
Alright.
do have to be careful though on this Lilia. I mean, they've got 3 or 4 forms of lockdown here. Once Lilia gets locked down, if she's not able to get out of there very quickly, she's going to be taken down. So you have to be careful of how you enter these fights.
Copy is correct, by the way. Predictions, lads.
Oh yeah, predictions. What are we thinking is going to be happening here?
I do think that the Draven lane is incredibly important, obviously, to last time. I do want to see how it plays out, how Chikarius can try and just basically space the Draven away. But with the all-in that is brought with Renata and sort of allowing him to limit test, I do think that Lost Time have a very confident position in this game, as they showed previously. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do think this is a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, like looking through the stats here, Ty got a lot of very impressive statistics up here, but he is not one who has played. He hasn't played much Draven. I haven't seen any Miller Draven from him recently, so this might be a first time competitive Draven coming out from Mr. Tigger here. So let's now hop into game because we are ready to go.
The stream has been closed.
It should be up and running now. Oh, there we go. We are in immediately.
You need to share your screen.
I need to share my screen still.
Yeah,
Wait,
got closed.
did it bug out?
I think it's, yeah.
Okay, I will share it now. Okay, there we go.
I think in the... Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I think now we are finally back into game. I think maybe when I was switching through the stats, it kind of bugged out a bit.
Possibly. I think in the beginning of the game, it's very neutral. Draven does have a tendency to hit like a truck. That's what I say every time I face him, but it could easily sway into the other side if it wanted to. Just a few missteps here and there and can easily take out the Draven.
One thing we are going to be having to keep an eye out is Henio on this Zed. Very prevalent, one of his highest mastery champions. Sitting on 15 ping, going to have a higher reaction time, but it's just an exchange of emotes and masteries, and they're just all over the place.
I'm a bit...
Zed being a very dangerous champion, I mean, can easily dive onto that Draven and get rid of it. Once that Draven's down, I'm not sure they really have the damage to follow through on anything else in the fight.
I am a bit concerned about the fact that there's no cleanse bot side, obviously, so with having that exhaust on the Draven, I do think it's going to be a bit frustrating for Chikarius in these fights. No leash bot side, they still have a bit behind.
So yeah,
It's
Lilia
probably sparking
does
top side, by the way.
So Lilia starting at the red buff is likely going to be pathing top side. Mumu's solo starting on these wolves, on the wolves there. Well, I mean the raptors, sorry. And now we're going to be moving up to his red. We've got some trades coming out mid. Rise will be a slightly more dominant in the gauge. Carsey gets a lot of damage coming out. So Carsey coming with the E trade.
The Draven damage, it's just too much. Just a couple autos and half your health is gone.
This is where it needs to be spaced, right?
Oh my goodness.
Not be found.
Oh,
Oh no.
The root is
bit of a
there.
bad position coming out from Tigger here. He's in a very
Exhaust
dangerous
coming
spot.
through. Ignite on Tigger. Does he fall?
Flash
He
shot,
does
first
fall.
blood.
First blood goes to Swain. Does Snek get caught out as well? Casti has to get away.
Let's need to be careful. Oh!
Oh!
It is
Two
a double
kills.
kill. It is a 2 kills in the ball lane beside a Genesis. As
That goes exactly back to what I said. It doesn't have to be one-sided just because it's a Draven. One misstep, and that means that Genesis can pull this through.
Yeah, Swain can be very aggressive in these lanes, going for the very short trades with the electrocute. Can drop the pull, drop an auto, will proc electric very easily.
Single Track's doing very good damage on Papa Smurfy here.
And that's, and I did feel a bit there that it was in a terrible position. That Caitlyn lane, you want to get shoving out, you want to get your plates, and obviously a single mistake there, a moment of weakness.
Rom in chat saying OMG new lost time bot lane. I see Single Tracks is being very aggressive here. Does drop the
Ignite
Ignite
through on
Smurfy.
Smurfy.
Oh,
There we go, kill top lane. I mean, I do feel that Tigger did get caught on the minions as he was trying to get away. That's why he took so much damage. Minion block has been a big issue recently.
I do think that it's kind of going to be the same position that Draven's in. I don't expect that he's going to be the one getting shoved in now, with obviously just having your boots and your single with dagger.
Oh,
we see
the trades coming out from Henny.
Tigger and Snek helping Demulon confirm that he's going to get this the scuttle.
Yeah, so that is a Scuttle Crab going over to Mr. Demulon on the sad mummy,
Oh.
the sad pumpkin head mummy. As there is
He's
possible look
sitting
for a
up.
fight. He's in the area.
Moving in.
Handshake lands.
Dracarys has to flash. They
Demulon
are
taking a
going
bit of
to tower
tower.
dive.
have flash.
Oh, the trade. No trade.
No
It
trade.
has landed.
Yeah,
All for
Caitlyn,
nothing.
look, the Draven barely getting that kill, and Demulon also almost dying under tower.
I think Dracarys made that little split-second error of animation locking himself with his Q. If he carried on running, he might have been able to dodge that auto.
So it's a little mistake there as well. It's a game of fine mistakes. I think that we're finding here the margins aren't very wide. I think.
Yeah, this is the seems like Genesis have really sort of pulled their pants up and are trying
But
to
now
set a
Pancake spot
statement.
lane. He's doing his Krugs. Does he move in to help if they are able to stop their backs?
So this
Fenix stops next.
next back is now going to be out of sync from the Draven. Draven rushing, picking up the Sheen as the first item. Very scary for. Oh no, never mind. He actually changes it to a Caulfield instead. I'm gonna be churning out the big damage.
So obviously, in the previous game, the way we saw the Caitlyn is we saw how.
Ooh.
That's a brilliant combo.
Yeah, I think
We saw how the
Seagull's
Caitlyn was
gonna be
used-
very careful.
Was used in a very good way, where obviously she was getting turret plates, she was getting towers, and they were very quick to act on that. I'm not sure if we're going to see Caitlyn in the same capacity, but I do think Genesis want to try and mirror that. If you can mirror a smidge of that confidence that Tigger had, I do think that there's a potential for those skirmishes to go in Genesis's favor. Obviously, having also a kill. To
Yeah,
boost.
we see here we have the issue of range versus damage. I mean, once Draven crosses into that auto attack threshold, you're going to see the damage come through.
Lilia
Meanwhile,
is fighting this
Pancake and
Olaf,
Smurfy
doing a lot of damage to this Olaf, and Floppy
Takes him
Pancake will
down.
solo kill him.
Can we get a Pog Tasty?
Can we get a Pog Tasty for Mr. Floppy Pancake in here?
And
He
so-
always lives by the Pog Tasty.
And some Hoove picks as well.
Dreamland.
The handshake does pull Casti under tower, but Snek does get pulled in return. Obviously, there's no tower there for him to take damage from that. I don't know if that's very equal on the trade there.
So Demulon is making his way bot lane. Will be spotted on a ward. Dracarys
They
and Klaus will
push.
do their best to slow them
Is
down.
he able to dodge the bandage toss?
Ooh, the
Gets
Caitlyn
rooted
trap.
by the trap. I didn't even see that myself.
That was put down very quickly. Very solid work coming out from Dracarys here on the Caitlyn.
Single Tracks is hitting these vitals very nicely on Smurfy.
Oh.
Damage is coming through Sealard.
Well, Henny are doing what very much all Z mains do is miss all their Qs.
Every single time it hovers by mid lane, we're kind of going, ooh.
Lost Time will be starting this dragon.
As there is trades
the
coming on the
contest.
Demulon is dropping
very low.
dangerously low here.
Sealard coming to help.
Oh, it might be a skirmish bot side.
You got to be very careful here if you don't want the Draven hitting you in the back. He seems to be moving up.
Connects as
Dracarys has got a Draven behind him. He's got to worry about that as well. Dracarys has got to be very careful.
It's all
It
in.
looks like they're working on Casti
Oh.
instead.
Where did they go?
Snek just gets out of there.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
realm
they
walk, by the way.
just all realm warp under tower, saving the Draven.
And
Very,
at
very
first-
good use of that realm walk. Very defensive. That does mean that Henio will have the advantage here.
Oh no. It's like single tracks will take down Papa Smurfy, putting him at 0-3.
There's potential for them to tie this. This is a much better early game to start out with, and I think Genesis are. Oh, look at that wave state.
Henio's
Oh my
pushing his
goodness.
wave under tower. Will he back off here? No, he's staying.
Single tracks is one lane. With that
very
wave,
damage.
he's one lane.
Yeah, the wave state right now is not exactly where he wants it to be. Floppy
is gonna
Pancake
slow
just ticking
push.
over to level 6, just a little bit of ahead of Demulon right now in terms of CS. But yeah,
Yeah, given the amount of ganks that Demilon has been doing, it's a good job on keeping up with the CS there.
yeah, not too far behind, about 8 minions, and he will just tick over to 6 now, picking up the primal smite.
I do
first
believe
part of
that
Primal.
Pancake was breaking up towards his ultimate before he did too many ganks. The ultimate is very strong in team fights, being able to take out an entire team with a sleep.
Yeah, it's very good pick potential. Very
Let's
easy to
see,
catch this Draven now, and very much deny the realm from this rise.
Amumu is making his way towards the Rift Herald. Do they start it?
Oh, Draven going ham. A lot of
He's going
abilities coming
forward.
out.
Can we see how many stacks the Draven has?
So if we look onto the Draven, no, that's not the Draven, that is the Amumu. If we look at the Draven here, he's sitting on 107 stacks at the moment. Peaking
That is
just at
about 300
112.
gold. About.
Yeah, if he hits 150, gets that shutdown, that Caitlyn can say goodbye to her lead.
And also keep in mind that's our execute.
I mean, there's not
As
even a lead now.
well.
The Draven's actually still
Demilon
ahead.
being dived on. Demilon being dived on in top. He is
Sleep comes
sleepy.
up. Does drop the because of the sad mummy. Q does connect onto Henio.
Seed
The
Lord coming
ulti
to
will come
assist, but
out.
does get ult. Does he die to this? No, he gets
No.
away with the skin of his teeth. But that does mean that Rift Herald can be started.
Yeah,
an
that is
objective.
going to be a Rift Herald startup for single tracks and Floppy here. Excellent
Confidence
game.
here to do it on the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, I
Think
mean,
about it. Think about what was happening last game. You think last time we're on blue side this time.
oh fudge! Hearty burning out the flash is going to try and chase down the snake. Does have the E reduced cooldown. Will try and grab the snake.
Does he land it? He
patch.
lands it. Does that kill go over to Jaquarius though?
Okay, so the
Look
snake
at
does
that,
have
Gotta
to
make sure they don't
revive.
get a kill. Nice job. Demilon coming in to try and see if he can hit that CC. Does he get Casty here?
Draven loses all stacks. Ceylon
Draven-
might be able to click though.
Casty
Oh,
getting out by the
Casty!
skin of his teeth.
That is not allowed.
Casty living on like 50 HP. Absolutely amazing gameplay coming out here from Casty here. Putting him 3-0-2 on this Swain. Really putting this Draven and this Renata in their place.
I want to
It's
give
not
it to
like-
Smurfy for being so far behind in terms of the kills here, but he's still managing to keep up on the CS. He is not worried about the damage that Fiora is putting out. He's able to just go in there, get the CS, and get out.
And that is with how terrible the lane state was.
Yeah,
Like earlier after being killed.
yeah, the lane it was definitely not in a very favorable position for him. As Fiora will, if Fiora is going to be hitting all those vitals, got a very good vital position there, but it's going to drop a ward, pick up the minions. Yeah, and then Henio going in for more trades. Does not get the full electrocute proc from the Qs.
Dragon coming up in 50 seconds. Do they start moving towards getting vision?
They do have the shove bot side, so I do think they are looking to, but Floppy's near. I don't think they want to fight. They're so behind at the moment.
Yeah, I think a fight now would be very bad for that lost time. They are sitting at a bit of a deficit right now. Lilia is in a very good spot. Does have a full demonic embrace.
Now, Hextech Drake is something that is very important for both these teams. I mean, that attack speed is not something you overlook. Putting it on a Draven, putting it on Olaf, very strong. But on the other hand, putting on Fiora and putting on Caitlyn, it is also very strong that side too. What do you do in this situation? Do you give it or do you take it?
At this point onwards, like it's very difficult because they're gonna need to prevent the dragons. They will be not be able to stack the dragons here. They will be a one dragon apiece, but
Here we see Casty's pinging the Drake. Lilia is trying to set up in there, but I'm wondering, do they try and go for a gank if it shoves? Rift Herald does go down on bot lane, hopefully be used as a distraction while Lilia can try and do the dragon.
They're not going to get much out of it, but I mean, if you get
Lilia
that
will
attack,
yeah, Lily will be able to do the dragon quite easily. The demonic embrace procking as she is now a melee champion. Does have the melee proc of the item. We did see a ghost come out from Papa Smurfy just to try and get away from Henio. Didn't want to make any risks, but yeah, as we see the dragon comes out for Floppy Pancake.
That's a very, very strong advantage towards Dracarys and single tracks here. That will put the Draven at a bit of a disadvantage with the attack
Hostile
speed.
Takeover comes out. A lot of damage coming out onto Dracarys here. This next try taking
the
low.
Draven...
And
Draven has...
no.
No, that is not what you want on the side of Genesis.
Sealord will fall to Henio like as a quick trade, but Draven picking up 2 kills, saving the snack.
And
That
that's,
is definitely not what you want to see. I mean, a Draven starting to get ahead, that could cause disaster for the enemy team.
it doesn't cause disaster, it spells it. That's a preview of what you might be seeing even more of. I mean, now we have to see what the gold is. He's 1k gold ahead.
Demulon trying to shut down Henio from taking any more plates from this tower here. But he does end up getting one. He stays behind just enough to get that plate and gets out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah, does have a bit of a gold lead up on this Rise, but yeah, this Draven now 1,000 gold ahead of the Caitlyn. Very dangerous, very scary. You do not want to mess with this Draven.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Coordination that you see from last time. They are a scary team, I think, for a reason.
They are
Compared to last game.
compared to last game. They are not. They were not obviously expecting Genesis to come back with this kind of ferocity, but but now Genesis need to know that if they make even the smallest of mistakes, Lost Time will take advantage of it and completely alter the course of the game.
We do see that the Dark Seal on Casti is completely useless now after that death. He's lost all the stacks he had.
It's an absolutely crazy position to be in.
Oh, we've got the Death Mark coming out. Rallis Claw does land the Qs, but only
Good amount of
manages to do
damage,
half
but not...
health.
Yeah, it's not enough to take him anywhere near any kind of follow-up.
Yeah, so there's no Death Mark for the Zed here.
You see Demulon staying nearby the mid lane to see if he can help.
Bit of a delayed Rod of Ages as well for the Rise. I think by now he have it.
So Henio does not have the W up. Moon will land the Q. Will drop the ulti.
Curse of the Sad Mummy. Does he get the kill though? He
Amura
does get the
picks it
kill,
up.
but he's under tower. Does he manage to get out of there? What is he doing? What is he doing?
Hey, the
executed.
madman. The
Henio was not
madman.
able to hit any abilities on Demulon. How did he manage to get out of there with just an execute? It does
wait,
not make
that-
sense to me why he would want to go for the execute though. He could have got out of
Oh,
it.
oh,
The deck has all.
The damage, Whirling Blades, they do not land.
Yeah, the
No,
Draven,
I
the
mean-
Whirling Blades do go wide, but this Draven auto attack is disgusting. I feel like the two
Potential
autos
dive.
in Amo as there's an ulti coming
Cassie's
out.
popping off, sleeping under tower.
No way!
He gets the kill to reset with the Renata. He's still dead anyways.
Lilia and Casti very much doing a lot of work here to make sure that Ty does not get out of this alive. Being
The
brought
kill
back
on
from
Ty
death.
does go to Dracarys though, to that tower shot after he was revived. The ignite coming through from Casti does kill the snack.
And single tracks actually solo killing Smurfy once again with a solo bolo.
There's like this bit of dread, I think, that Lost Time are able to give. It looks terrifying because at the same time,
Red team's turret.
Ooh,
as
Oh,
is
no,
Demulon
this
out
is
of
not
position
good.
here?
I don't think this is very
Vitals
good
are
for
being hit.
Demulon.
He does get out of there. Rift Herald is up. Do we start seeing Genesis moving towards it now that they have the advantage?
Yeah, right now Lilia just finishing her jungle item now as well. Did go up for the green smite as well as Demulon.
We see Genesis is pinging on that Rift Herald. They do want to start moving towards it.
They want to open up as much of the map as possible, giving the Zed freedom to roam, giving the Swain some freedom to roam. It's all just a matter of time.
I mean, that last time top jungle is basically open now. The tier 1 on top lane is gone. You can access that entire top side and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I think the more that they open up the map, the easier it is for these roaming champions to make plays around the map. And then it gives the Zed a bit more time to go and try and deal with this Draven, because this Draven is not going to get any easier to deal with as the game goes. It's sitting at a whopping... What? How is that? That's just over like 1,500 gold. That is 1,500 gold
He's
needed
mad.
this Draven.
and imagine if you won that opening trade as well.
Smurfy coming down to mid lane. Is he trying to set up a gank, or is he just coming through to help with the dragon?
I think
He
they are
is
going
holding
to
in
be
the brush.
fighting for this. Like, whoever gets this will begin the dragon stacking here, but we got the core items coming out beside Genesis. We got Imperial Mandate coming out for the Swain here. With Prowlers on the Z.
I think this makes or breaks the game for Genesis if they win this. It's absolutely doomed, but if lost time, they've been getting...
Enio is scouting out that Draven. You can see Draven is hiding behind his team. Swain is rooted. Hostile takeover comes through.
Massive shows
Caitlyn
the
now
Sad
stunned.
Mummy
Curse
comes
of the
down.
Sad Mummy. Fiora is dueling. Demilon
Wait,
goes down.
They're also low. I think it's over.
That's over.
I think that's
That
it's
is
an
dragon.
ace. That is an ace coming out for the side of Genesis. They will take down Lost Time, and they will secure the second dragon of the game.
Oh, I could feel a bit there. They were kind of getting low, but just the position they're both in with the flank, there was no way of winning that team fight, and I think Genesis are literally trying to tie this game up with lost time.
Do we go to game threes if it's a win on
No.
both sides? Or
So it is
Unfortunately.
a point-based one. So it only is a best of 2. So it's based on matches win loss, not like the series. It's a matches won, matches lost kind of angle.
okay.
So
So
it
if-
will mean a draw, and it means they will be tied for first place in the group.
We have Genesis picking up the Rift Herald. That does mean they can open up any side lane they want to, or they could push it straight down mid, see if they can get inhibitor.
Yeah, well, so now Tukari is opening up the side lane there by taking the tower. The only tier 1 left standing is the mid lane. So it's very likely that Floppy will take a mid lane just to open up the map even further.
Would not be a bad idea to completely open up one of the side lanes. I mean, that means that Amumu will lose all his farm if you constantly invade his jungle.
Definitely would. Maybe you want to put it like on that top side for that Fiora, giving that Fiora more space to invade, more space to attack. Very
Not a bad
aggressive,
idea.
very strong on this Fiora. Do
Now
not
that-
want to be fighting her as the duelist comes out. Olaf
Olaf
comes
is
Well,
out.
run him.
The Ragnarok is
Chases
not
him
able to do
down.
much.
Single
Fiora
tracks
is-
is on a track.
The aggressiveness on single track.
It does drop the ignite as there are 3 members now.
Oh, Realm Warp
Flash
coming
from
through.
Rise.
He is
Oh,
rooted,
good ball.
stunned. Oh,
Rune Prison
screen
comes
goes
out on
black.
Screen goes black. My screen died. What the heck happened?
So intense.
Why is this happening?
The
Why
game
is it
has
now?
crashed. It is all over.
All right, we are back in.
Single tracks does go down, but that does mean the bounty goes over to the Rise. Sealord has now got a 600 gold bounty on top of the original kill gold as well.
Okay, so
And
everything
while that-
is
and-
like
And
exploding
while that was
on my
happening,
screen.
by the way, the Caitlyn was mid lane, and they were just gaining gold as well. This is, again, formulaic. It's smarter. It's good play. I feel like Lost Time are a bit scattered. They're out of...
In the end there, the gold does seem equal because of that shutdown, but
Oh,
as well,
wait.
tier 1 gold is insane on towers.
Floppy almost got out of the handshake there. But as you see, they are going to be opening up into Lost Time's blue jungle here. That is 2 items on the Lilia. Does a full Proteon. Does have a full demonic
Handshake
embrace.
pushes Henio away.
Okay,
You
but now...
see, Cassie's doing a very good job keeping this vision here in the bot jungle, making sure any kind of movement through any kind of bot lane is seen.
Okay, but now it's all good. You're ahead in the game. You've managed to get about 3 turrets, and you'll play into the mid game. It's a question of if Genesis can use their macro to seal this one out. They are incredibly ahead.
Oh,
Right, Pancake does
Pancake being
get
caught out.
now.
Smurfy disengages, does not want to fight this. He knows that the enemy team is just there in mid lane. They can rotate to help if they wanted to.
They do need to be very careful with this Lilia. She's not as squishy as you might think. She does have 2 heavy health tank items.
Demilon waiting for the Curse of the Sad Mommy bomb here. Can he land it? He's got to go soon. That tower is going to go.
Will come 2. Tier 2 down.
He decides not to engage. Single tracks, it does look like he's coming mid lane to assist or moving back top. Depends on how this fight goes. Demilon will be caught out here by single tracks.
I'll still
Floppy
take it if it
Pancake.
doesn't do too much.
Casty goes down.
Draven picking up the kill. The
Challenging.
the duel comes out. Caitlyn is just sitting in the back autoing. Lilia is still in the back
Deathlock
line.
coming through on
Someone kill
Lesnek.
for...
Lesnek will go down.
Ace in the hole lands
Oh.
onto a Mumu, and Caitlyn will
Pancake
be
does
taken
go
care
off
of.
to Tiger. That is another ace. That could be game.
That is
That
like
could be-
that could possibly be game. There's an ace for the side of Genesis. Probably Pancake living through all that. It's unkillable on this Lilia once again.
They're gonna
What we
go
said
for
about
the-
trying to keep your mental after losing last game, they definitely were able to keep that mental. I mean, they brought this game from what we would think was a losing game into a complete win.
Lost Time dismantled Genesis in 22 minutes, and I think they're going to do the same.
It
They're
is
going to try and
definitely-
suck.
This kind of, I
Oh,
think
but
this kind
wait.
of sums it up as it's going to be a bit of a
They're
duel
gonna do
to
it.
the game.
Caitlyn is attacking Nexus. That is GG's. What a game.
What a series too. I think this is set in stone what we could be seeing in the future.
This is insane, by the way, for the groups as well. Now that it's tied, they are both sitting at 3-1, which gives a bunch of other opportunities. If they 2-0 these teams, that puts them ahead in a prime position. This is absolutely insane, but both of these teams have a chance now to win the group. And oh, that's insane.
And it goes just back to
GG.
what was said
Give me
earlier.
my
They shut down the
points.
Draven early. If you shut down that Draven early, the damage is just not there. I mean, Fiora was able to get ahead as well. That helped in the team fights, but as well as the single pushing in top lane. How do you deal with a Fiora that's just constantly pushing that top lane?
Well, I definitely got to keep an eye on what's going to be happening in chat now. It's because there was only a 5% vote for Genesis here. So there are a lot of points going to anyone who voted for Genesis.
That was me. Let's go.
Oh
Well,
my goodness. Matthew just got 10,000 points.
I'm
That
homeless,
is
I'm homeless.
absurd. But I definitely want, but GG's to both members of, well, both sides of
Both
of
teams
Lost
played extraordinarily well in both their matches. I mean, the amount of upsets and unexpected things happening in these games is just it's astounding, really.
I
Yeah, I
feel like
definitely think we
there was
gotta
hype behind it.
definitely we gotta pick a man of the match, and then we gotta do an interview.
There was hype behind this matchup in the first place, and after that, I feel like it was well deserved. This was probably one of the best games of the tournament.
Without doubt, one of the most entertaining games we ever fought. But we could have it. What do we? Okay, chat. What do we think? Who do we think should be getting MVP for the series? Who? What are we thinking?
Series MVP, that's a bit hard because it's going to be like recency bias.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
like
lean on
we've
single
got
tracks.
Single tracks
Single
doing
tracks
really
doing
well on the Mordekaiser,
phenomenally.
and yeah, and also you gotta commend Floppy as well on this list. It did go unkillable, but yeah, single tracks look like he's in a very very good position here to get MVP. What do we think, chat?
Either that or the Caitlyn on Tigger last game. It was also very, very good.
It's also just like how they played with the Caitlyn. When they had the gold on the Caitlyn, they didn't stop there. It wasn't just the 4 kills that he got. He went mid, collect the gold. He went top, collect the gold. Formulaic, simple, executed very well from him. That it felt like the whole team was on the same page there. So I think we do have to.
We take both games
Give his
consideration. Yeah, so I think it's gonna go to Tyrone's Caitlyn. What are
absolutely-
we thinking, lads? Absolutely superb gameplay coming from him. A lot of outplays, mechanically, really expressed the full length of what Caitlyn is capable of. So we would like to bring him in for an interview.
I mean, it is a very tough one. Single Tracks was able to completely shut down the Olaf the entire game. I mean, if the Olaf gets ahead, it's very dangerous for ADCs, and he made sure that his ADC was safe by winning that lane. But as well as the Caitlyn being so confident in every single fight, I mean, being able to tower dive even and get these kills about 70% of the time and get out scot-free, that is a very, very commendable factor on playing.
That's a show of just mechanical excellence, really, over the other team. And it's those moments when you're playing ADC that I think are very satisfying.
Yeah, I can very much agree with that. I'm just gonna trying to get a hold of Ty here, when you can. So we're just gonna cover all these stats. So on the Caitlyn here, did very exceptionally well on it, and that kind of adds to all his stats. They have one of his most played champions, brings him up to 10 games on the Caitlyn, and yeah, it's a champion you got to fear on playing this guy against this guy. But also with the second game, really going to take into consideration that Floppy Pancake must not be messed with when he's on his Lilia either.
Absolutely.
No, I agree.
So-
Really use that speed to his advantage. I mean, dodging skill shots left, right, and center. I don't think he really got hit much with the Olaf axes when he was fighting earlier in River.
This
So
has, I still can't believe how much consequences this has for the group standings. I feel like we do have to wait for the other games as well. This being the first tie, I think, of the whole tournament. Everything considered, it's well played to both teams.
I'm just trying to find the stats, but as far as I know, I do not think we're going to be able to look at all the stats just yet, because some of them are not loading in. Okay, so
I do think
Floppy-
in these games you can see that they gave it their all, and that's the beautiful thing about it. I mean, they
Even
played
in
with
the
all
last
they could.
Even in the last game, they had some fight in them. You saw where they could. They traded 1-for-1. They traded, um, even if they were in the smaller numbers advantage, which is the reason why I felt that for the second game they could definitely mount a comeback, and the way they did it in such a way that mirrored the last one, I think that's spectacular.
Yeah, and I think this kind of really evens out the group because we still got there's gonna be matches up against Aeon this weekend as well, who's also one of the stronger teams on the side of Era here. And I think gonna be in for some banging games this weekend. What do you think, lads?
I'm excited. It really all depends now on what Equinox and Lost Time do in their next games. Equinox, unfortunately, did I think play versus Griffiths, and they won 2-0. Everyone else also got 2-0 due to the forfeit. And now, since it is standing 3-1, Lost Time and Genesis are technically at the top, but that's without the additional matches played. So it all comes down to what happens in round 2. Obviously, waiting on whatever
Yeah, we're just kind
schedule
of
says.
whatever the match says. So I believe Time might be covering some last minute things with the team. So I would like to be able to bring Floppy Pancake in for an interview. Would you like to pop in for us, Mr. Floppy? I'm going to ask him nicely. Right, I've just got to summon him real quickly here before we can get into anything. So we will be hopefully there shortly.
You see, Dracarys are so fired up after these games. He's already moving into some ranked games.
Yeah, he's already. I've opted to hop in.
We like the way it mirrored. It's absolutely insane. I feel very happy for both teams.
It's kind of poetic in a way.
Yeah, it's very poetic.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying
now
to
I think Genesis are a team to watch. Obviously, starting in the open division. Last time our team that I do believe are playing after their last run in Metal State Tournament, which I do have to pull up now. Check for
Yeah,
context.
'cause this is also good. This is gonna be good preparation for the boys to get ready for the upcoming Metal State tournaments. It's gonna be starting up on the 30th of January. Hopefully, we're able to get as many practice games in as possible, so we can test our mettle against some of these newer and upcoming teams.
Okay, so last time are in the Pro division. The Viv.
Well, Floppy, do you want to discuss what you want to use those points on? Because we very much would like you to come and join us for a quick interview. You will.
Cat cam.
All right, cat cam. Okay, that's what people want. Is they want the cat cam. But we will see about.
I don't
that.
think you implemented yet.
I think he has to come.
Talk to me
He'll come in here and he has to tell me what he wants to spend 26,000 points on. It's a very good game coming out from the side of Lost Time in the first game as well. But second game, I feel like they fell a bit lower. Like I think they made some mistakes.
Focus more on the Draven and protecting him and getting the Draven set up. But sadly, he never got set up. It was very difficult for him to pull through.
I think we said earlier there was a lot of small margins that it came down to where the Draven just wasn't able to output as much as he could have, and top side it wasn't really that winning either. And Henio was also doing pretty well on the Zed. We did hover over mid and we kind of went ooh. The way he sort of showed heeded your warnings that you showed earlier.
Yeah, and
I think you said specifically, by the way, that his Zed was something
to be scared
to-
of. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, because you saw he either went for Lesnex Renata to stop any kind of CC there, or he went straight for Tigger to try and shut him down from the fight because he knew that Tigger was going to be the carry in these team fights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Henio, you can see the Henio there on the Yone. Very much do not want to give him this Yone at all. Zed does not, unfortunately, appear here because I think he did play a bit of AD carry and that covered a lot of his game time. But in terms of mastery and achievement, it's something you got to really be fearing is him on this Zed, and he proved us. He proved that it was worth it, and he's even achieved a pentakill. So actually, mad work coming out from the side of Henio. But yeah, I think all in all, chat, we're going to agree that the Caitlyn gets the MVP of the season, or of the series. Sorry. Why I say
Absolutely.
season?
I do want to see in the future, for last time, that same type of gameplay that they showed in game 1, because it was
Ferocious.
it was amazing, not just in confidence but in macro as well. And I feel like the Genesis played, I feel it's a great showing in the open div. I feel like they're a contender because now obviously you don't have the same what would it be, exhaust that you had last season, who absolutely just stormed through the open division. So we have a preview of probably some of the contenders before I think even it starts.
I think
Yeah,
it came down to, in the first game, Tigger and Snek was able to take advantage of that matchup that they were up against, seeing as how Samira was very close range versus a Lux and a Caitlyn that's able to peel for each other. Whereas in this game, the strategy came through with the Swain being able to take most of Tigger's damage, and Caitlyn being able to just dish it back themselves. They were able to keep the range this time.
Yeah, especially like looking at like Henio's stats here, the Zed does appear only has 67% win rate with 3 games last season. But like yeah, it's like he's like a lot of these. There's a lot of AD carries in here, so he did fill in for a few ADC roles. But yeah, like understandably, you got to see why some of these champions get banned and why some of these probably shouldn't have been banned. But at the end of the day, it was an even Stevens game.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy with the outcome of these games. I mean, they were beautifully played. The strategy that you were able to see in them was baffling. I mean, being able to know where exactly you should be at that time, being able to counter gank often, just in the team fights as well, knowing exactly who to target and how to get to them. It was well played from both sides.
So as we do believe we are being joined by Mr. Single Tracks here. Welcome, Mr. Single Tracks.
Hello.
I see you kind of you took it personally first game and picked the Fiora to make sure you assert your dominance, right?
Yeah, definitely. I hadn't been playing Fiora a lot. The tank. I enjoy my tank killers because of this meta. So I was like, well, you banned Camille. I have option 2.
Oh,
You don't want to-
seeing them take away that Camille from you was like, it must have been kind of scary. Like, but we all knew. We all secretly knew.
Well, so funny enough, when we were playing, because like our team is brand new, we were playing a games, and I played against an Olaf this morning as Fiora. So I was like, the stars have aligned.
It was ready. It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was.
You got
meant
your
to
practice in on how to deal with it.
be. Yeah. Oh,
So how were you able to so coming out of that first game, which is a bit of a rough one for your guys, how were you able to reset your mental to get going to the second game?
lots of shit talking each other, and it was
Love to
'Cause-
hear it.
like we said because we all obviously were getting to know each other, so we were like, before the game starts, regardless, we're just gonna type ADC diff in our WhatsApp group chat, regardless if you're into or not. So after first game, after first game, we were just like, we just asked them, so what was it we needed to type again? And we just kind of cooled each other out, got a plan. We were like, okay, listen, Caitlyn, we either take it or ban it, and that's why we got that first pick. We locked in Caitlyn. We're like, cool, we're happy.
I'm
guess
assuming that just real quick, I'm assuming that one chat time where you weren't banning a champion, it was an Ezreal ban, right?
No, it was a Lux ban.
Oh, so took away
They
the
did,
Lux.
so that's why the Lux was not picked.
Yeah.
I'm
My next
surprised.
question is, coming from game 1, going into game 2, what is the biggest aspect you guys think you improved on going out of the game 1?
Well, to be totally honest, like also one thing that kept our mentality was that in game 1 we didn't think we did bad. I mean, like I clicked tab because after Caitlyn was 5-0, we were like starting to freak out. But then we clicked tab and it's like, okay, everyone else on the team is 0-1, 0-2. It's just Caitlyn that's 5-0. The score is 5-6. So we weren't really upset about game 1, besides the fact that we messed up a bit early game and gave Caitlyn 11 kills and
Just
ratings and
a slight
and
mess up. Slight mess up.
6 million waves. So we were kind of just like, it's unlucky. It is what it is. And then obviously because they had that fed Caitlyn, we couldn't do anything else. You know, we couldn't contest Drakes because teleport only comes on in 15 minutes. So we kind of just wrote it off and moved on to the next game.
And so, obviously, as well, with all of that, that does take you to 3-1 in Group A, and you are still remaining to play versus Aeon and Equinox. How do you fancy your chances versus them in your next games?
Well, we haven't really gotten to thinking about the other games yet. We
Because
kind of just focused on this one, but I think after this, we think there's, you know, the sky is opening up, the sun is shining down, and it looks like there's hope. So
And very much also with the need of the 2 subs, with the need of Castia and of Henio to sub in, it must have, like, trying to adjust as a team must have been a bit of a tricky task. But how were you able to, well, how were you able to just bring things together, especially considering like there were two of the main members of your team were not able to play?
well, luckily both Henia and Cast are very malleable players. They weren't one tricks, you know, not infamous players that only play Thresh, and well, Henia had his own, but he can play other stuff. So we kind of just was like, listen, we've never played together. Just pick what you want, whatever's good. I think if you saw there when champ select, where we'd be like flickering between champs on the last second, like with the Swain, where we nearly missed the champ select because we're like, what do we pick? What do we pick? And then he was just shouting, pick me Swain. So we kind of just told those two guys, we don't have any plan. Do what you want. Pick something you're comfortable with.
And building off of that, was there a lot of communication in your team when you guys were playing, or did you guys keep it pretty chill?
No, we talk a lot. Whether it's just shouting at each other, laughing at each other, and telling what to do. It was very busy, but also there was a common. Everyone knew what they were doing, so you know we'd be shouting each other. We'd be telling each other to go to Drake, but we were already on the way, all of us. So it made a lot easier as well.
But that's always good to hear. Like the communication is strong, and it's good preparation for the upcoming Metal State season ahead. And I think putting this new roster of yours to the test against some of the big names up in Era with Aeon and Last Time, I think there's a very bright future ahead for Genesis. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm very happy with how the guys done. I mean, so first game we started talking to each other 2 days or 3 days ago. I don't even know. So I'm very glad, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with the 5 misfits that makes up Genesis. So
I think that's a good thing. That's a good call. You are the misfits of this group. The team that no one expected would perform in such a way.
The underdogs in a way.
Well,
yeah.
Also on a bit of history, me and Last Time, there's been a bit of trend with that first game stomp, and then we bring it back in game 2. Ty knows all about it.
Yeah, we are trying to get hold of Ty to bring him back in here, but I believe he is probably doing a VOD review with his team.
Yeah.
So that Growx 08 looks bad. I know that it's this. Unfortunately, the newbie went at the stats had to be, and it's unfortunate that you might have had to have dropped out from this tournament. But we will hopefully we'll be seeing you guys in Metal State. You better be in Metal State, hey Galaxia. But anyways, from all the casters here, from everyone, thank you for coming for the interview, Mr. Single Tracks. You really asserted your dominance today on that Fiora.
Thank you. If you have a look at my champ pool, being toxic top lane is my way of living.
Let's take a quick gander. So, yes it is.
Yeah.
The Darius. The set.
The Darius, the last time, it was like 2 years ago when Era started out. Darius was a pick I played against Last Time, and Penta killed him as a gold 4 player against a bunch of plats and diamonds. So
Ooh.
that's what I was talking about with the comeback of me against them. But
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
can
was
definitely see why the Darius was justified of a ban. I mean, like, you got Camille as well. You picked up a lot on the Mordekaiser. Even, like, some of the Swain. Like, I can see why this is going to get banned.
yeah, but it was a good team job. Everyone did. Our jungler pulled up with the Lilia. Caitlyn, when I think when Caitlyn killed the Draven, but obviously I wasn't watching because got my own got my own lane. But I just see Caitlyn get a double kill, and I'm like, okay, we are we are in this game, and we are here to get revenge for what happened.
Yeah.
That does make sense on that Darius ban in the first game. I thought it was a bit out of there, but now seeing the skill on the Darius in terms of mastery, it makes sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I fed Darius, like, as he died, a lot of Darius has been running, like, this heavy movement
snowball.
speed build, like, the heavy movement speed with, get the Trinity Force, got the Ghost, Nimbus Cloak, Celerity. They just, like, run at you at, like, Mach 12, and, like, you can't do anything, like...
Yeah, he's
Sounds
definitely one of
terrifying.
my more favorite champs. Wait until they give Stridebreaker back a dash, and then I'm
Oh, no.
happy.
That would be an absolute nightmare to deal with again. Like, set with, yeah, but that would be, that your whole champ pool would be broken again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be. So thank you for coming in for the interview. That will be all from all of us here at the casting desk. It'll be from me. Hello, it's Just or Just Kate6. We got Instinct ADC came to join us. We got Ethan or Bot Emu who came to join us for the TriCast.
This was
And-
lots of fun.
Yeah, glad to have you all on this channel, and hope to have you all back here in the future.
Thanks for having me, guys. Cheers.
And I hope to see you all in tomorrow's stream, as I think Genesis will be playing again. So to everyone, chat, hope you have a good night, hope you have a good evening. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.